component. Okay, before we begin, I'm going to implore you that you should subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments, because that helps the channel grow. And just as I predicted, the more people who do subscribe, the more the algorithm sends it out to more people, and those people can share information, which I'll share with all of you. Okay, I don't want to waste too much of your time, so let's get started. On to the intro. See, I got the intro today properly. We're going to make your website pop with 3D models. Okay, now on to the show. So as you can see here, these are street lamps. They're being lit using the HDR image, and it's very simple. It's low poly, and I'm going to zip right through this tutorial. So I'm actually pretty busy today. Sorry about that. I might do, no, I won't have time to do. Tomorrow night I'll do a night stream, and I'll be able to catch up with everything. All right. I'm also live streaming on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. I've taken off BitChute. BitChute seems to be having some issues, and that's messing up the live stream. So this will just be like this going forward for a while. Okay, so basically this is a beginner friendly tutorial, and my bonus is that I'm going to use Blender 5.0, and next week I will do an overview of what's new in Blender Python for version 5. I mean Blender 5, the Blender Python API, what's new. And then after that we'll do something pretty exciting. Yes, we're actually going to do, not in today's tutorial, but then we'll do a sample of the grease pencil as well. So be tuned, stay tuned for that. Okay, so this one will work. Today's tutorial obviously still works with Blender 4.5, the long-term support releases. Everything from Blender 4. I believe 2 and up, it should it'll work. It might work even some of, probably as long as you have EV. I think that was Blender 3 series. It should work as well. Okay, so you don't need to know anything about Python in Blender, because we're just going to be doing everything on we're going to be running the script on the command line. And don't worry, I got you covered. The script is here as well. You can see, just expand, you get the code, and just put it in the scripting tag. I'll show you that as well both when I show you the screenshots, and also when we open up Blender. And as I said, the reason I like using HDR images is because you don't have to fool around with lighting. It already has lighting. For example, the reason I like using the courtyard is because the courtyard has several lights. It has like it has a shaded area. It has a picture of a dog. The dog is actually lying down, and then there's like a white building shaded. So you can have that as well. Then you have the outside. It's a sunny day. So it's a really nice image. That's why I use it. You can use something like the forest, or you can use your own HDR image as well, if you prefer that way. So if you don't know what HDR image, or if you don't know what HDR stands for, it stands for High Dynamic Range. It has good support on all the modern web browsers. There's EXR. This is called Open EXR. This one has less support, but you can possibly use it, especially if you use like a framework such as 3JS or even the model-viewer. And then there's this one, KTX and KTX2. Those were by the Chronos group. They're called Chronos Texture. So these ones are supposed to be really, really much faster, because they were built or made to run off your GPU. The problem is they're not as well supported, so you need to convert them. However, those probably still will be used in the future, hopefully. And then of course you have the usual fallback, PNG, JPEGs. Those are well supported everywhere. And then you have obviously the container we're going to use. We're going to use the GLTF. That's also by the Chronos group. And there's GLTF. Obviously by default it's a JSON format, but there's also the GLB, which is the binary. That's what we're going to use, the binary format. Okay, and then once the script is up, once you have the script saved, on your command line, you just type Blender space -- background space -- Python space, and then the name of your script, and then it will generate both a blend file, and it will also generate a what do you call it? To generate a blend file and the GLB file to export it out as well. So yeah, so it's, and then you can run this in your web browser. Now Obviously, in 2025, web browser don't support GLTFs by default, so you need to use a third-party, something third-party, with whether it's, like I said, 3JS, which is open source, or even the model-viewer, which is also open source. I'm going to use model viewer. It's just much more easier, less code to. We're not going to be mucking around with any code after that. Okay, so here are the screenshots. You can see this is the model. This is the, what's the word? Blender, the scripting. I'm not sure what version of Blender this one is. This one. When I created this article when I was still using Blender 4.5. So I'm hoping that things don't mess up today, because I recently updated to Blender 5. I think literally just 2 days ago. So hopefully it still works. We'll find out. And then of course you can see here, this is the scripting workspace, and this is the layout, and then this is from a screenshot from the web browser. Don't worry about this, we'll do everything again. You guys will see it live. And speaking of live, if I play this here, you can see here, this is exactly, so you can tell I'm live. Okay, so I'm going to stop this right about there. I'll stop here, we'll come back there later. Let's get started. So as you can see here, I have a whole bunch of stuff here because I was testing this in several different ways. So I'll show you that this actually does work. So I'm going to delete these because all of this are not needed. And this was for testing. Unfortunately, I probably don't have time to test right now. I'm super busy today. There's a lot of work. I was outside clearing snow and looking after chickens, and I got even more work. So that's good. I'm not complaining about work. I like work. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that this is still important because I want to show you guys, how to code and stuff as well. So I'm going to start with the HTML here, just so that I don't forget quickly. So as you can see, there's the doc type. In the head section, I just put a title, low poly street lamps. And this is the part I was telling you about. Let me zoom in a little bit more. This is the module. So I'm using a CDN. You see it's from unpack.com. It was obviously created by Google, not unpack.com. I'm talking about this model-viewer. That's the one where we're going to view our 3D objects. And then this is styling. This is subjective. You style it when you don't actually need it, but I like the little dark background, so that's why I added this one. And I made the model view itself 100% of the viewport height, 100% of the viewport width. And this is the second most important thing after the module. You see it's model-viewer, the source, which would be our GOB file. The alt tag is just low poly street lamps, and then I set it to auto rotate, camera controls, AR, shadow intensity, I set it to 1. The environmental image is our courtyard HDR image. And then you see animation. There's no animation, so this part is not needed, but I'm just lazy. I just copy paste and just change a few things, but that's our HTML. That's it. Now for our Python, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. As usual, you need to import the Blender Python module. I'm gonna also import the bmesh, and I'm gonna use some math for the matrix and OS. The reason I use OS is so that I want to save the blend file and the GOB file relative to where the Python file is, and that's obviously to get the the operating system. That's because there are some things which are specific to that operating system. So that's why I have that as well. So the first thing we always do, we have we delete everything. So we delete everything, meaning we select by at least by Blender 4.5 and Blender 5, it comes with a default cube, default light, and default camera. None of them are needed, so that's why they were deleted. And it's also better to delete them. That way you can when you insert your own object, you can place them exactly where you, instead of having to twist and turn the camera or lights and stuff like that. So it's better just to delete them and put your own. It's much faster. Okay, so you see here, if a Blender is greater than 4.5, we unlink them. So sorry, 4.1. That's what I said. So that's another way for Python. So I'm using the OOP, that stands for Object Oriented Programming. One of my viewers requested it, so that's why I started doing that. I think it's also better because I can reuse some of this code in the future. So as you can see here, this is a fallback for older versions. So that's how you can This is how to remove everything as well for the much older versions. So there we go, and then after that we'll reset. This is how you reset the scene. And then if you need to put some any type of animations. Oh, sorry, I think I was wrong. I think this one does have an animation, does it? Oh yeah, it has an animation. I think the lights, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot the street lamps. Of course, it has an animation. Forget everything I said. It does have animation because the animation, the light has to come on. Glow, a little bit glow, to glow like a true street lamp. So that's why I had the animation. There you go. So that's, you call that one to remove that. And then this is where we start. You see the blend file name, the street lamps, for the export, the GOB. And then this is the part I was telling you for the OS. The reason we need the OS is, this was when I was using the Flatpak version. The Flatpak is restricted where it can be, so I wanted to, that's why I created the script directory here, just to be able to save it exactly where I want anywhere, except for specific areas. And here are some variables here for our the street lamp dimensions, the radius, the depth, the lamp head, and the offset. And then for flickering, the frames, and the end frame as well. So it's 10. And then after that, we create a cylinder mesh. So you can see here, that's where we use the B mesh. B mesh just makes things more easy instead of having to manually, put the coordinates and vertices and all that. It just makes it much more easier. So that's why I'm using that. And then here we have a sphere. We're using another mesh as well. So as you can see, it's very similar to that one. This obviously we're going to use some transform. Remember, that's why I imported the math to do the transform matrix here. And then after that, we grab the object, we create the object, and we put the location where we want it to be, and the chrome matrix as well. That's for the material, the chrome material. And then we have the emission material. You can see here, we just use the base color, emission color, and emission strength. And then we apply the materials to the objects. And after that, we need to do some animations. As you can see here, the animation for the pole and the lamp head. And we're using the principled BSD. The emission strength, we just use the default value, as you can see there. And what else? We use some F curves, keyframe animations. I hope this might actually break. I'm hoping it does work in Blender. I might have egg on my face if this actually breaks. So I'm actually, I had problems running this F curves in Blender 5.0, so I'm hoping this still works. So yeah, this F curves are an easy way to do keyframes, but I prefer doing the keyframes the manual way because I can have final control, but some people prefer the F curves, so that's why they're here. And that's the flickering. It did work in 4.5. I tested it, so this might actually break. So that's why I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I said the code is there if you guys want to take a look at it. And this is how we save the blend file. We use the Blender Python, obviously module, ops.wm. I think that's window manager, save _as main file, and then the file path to our blend file that will save it. So I put it in a try exception here. And then we have another one to export the GLTF file. This time, as you see, the export format is GLB, that's a binary one. We'll make sure export applied set to true, Y up set to true, export animation set to true, and then we use selection true. So that's it, we're done. And then obviously, to execute it, we just generate _animated _street _lamps. So that's our file here. Now, so that's it. So I am. Hopefully this works. I'm going to open up the terminal now. Okay. So as you can see, there's nothing here. This was testing ones just to make sure they work. So let's just type. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm typing. So Blender. Oops. What happened there? Okay, I don't know what happened there. Blender. Space -B, that stands for background, then space --P, that stands for Python, and then the name of our file. There we go. Hopefully it works, it doesn't give me any errors. Okay, yeah. See, I knew it was going to give me errors because I'm now using Blender 5. So you see it says here, this thing's deprecated warning, so they're gonna be removed from Blender, they're gonna be removed from Blender 6. So they don't work in Blender 5. I said I had some problems. So what I'm gonna do is, it does, if you have Blender 4.5, it does work. And I said I've removed them in Blender 5.0, so that will be it in next week's tutorial. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna undo, I'm gonna bring this back. Hopefully I'm gonna bring this to back, and I'll show you. Hopefully this file does open in Blender 5. Otherwise, I'm gonna have some super egg on my face. So let's see if it actually opens up. Yeah, okay, here they are. It did create them with the animations. Come on, there we go. So one of the problems, I said I'm using Blender 5.0. So it's a little bit. I said some things. I'll explain that. I said next week. Right. So if we go to the scripting tag here, you just click new and you paste the code in here. It does work, I said, in Blender 4.5. That's where I actually created the article and had it testing. Unfortunately, because I write these articles about a month before I, before I actually do the live stream. So when things change, they do break, unfortunately. So in this case, I wanted to get a heads up with Blender 5 so that I can start, as I promised in the past, I wanted to do some grease pencil stuff. So that's why I wanted, but I didn't want to do it in Blender 4.5 because if I get it working 4.5, then it breaks in 5. That doesn't make any sense. So that's why I made sure to go to Blender 5. I knew things would break, but that's fine. So as you can see, this is, that's the night one. So here we go. You can see that's what it looks like here. So it does work. As I say, it does. If you have Blender 4.5, it will work. Or you can always you can have multiple versions of Blender. So now, so this does work. As I repeat one more time, it does work in Blender 4.5. Unfortunately, I recently, just like literally 2 days ago, I went to Blender 5, and the F curves have a problem. They're broken in 5. They're breaking changes. So I'm okay with them breaking the changes because they are introducing more Python stuff. So I'm okay with that. I said we'll resolve it in due time. Okay. So with that said, I need to start a web server here. So let me show you how to do that. Let's clear this. So I'll use Python --n http.server. And what port number? I'll use port 8000. Okay, so 0000 means I can use obviously 0.0.0.0 or 127.0.0.1, or I can use the IP address of this workstation, or yeah, so multiple ways, meaning that if I have a phone or laptop, I can still connect to this. Okay, so we have the server running here, so I'm gonna run this this file here. I'm gonna copy it as well. Make sure I don't make a mistake. Okay, there's so many tabs open. If you guys could see this, wow, I have so many tabs open, it's unbelievable. Alright, so I think localhost should work. 8000 / that. There we go. So as you can see, my hands, it's kind of hard looking at work while I'm doing this. Don't worry, I'm a freelance programmer, so when I take a break, obviously I don't charge my customers. For example, I'm taking a little break just to do this live stream, and I'll go back to work. So as you can see, my hands are here. See, it does spin by itself. Remember, we had the auto rotate, so it does it by itself. And it's a very subtle change, but the lights are actually they're flickering. Remember, it's about 10 frames, so it is there. It's pretty light. Maybe I should have changed the color. I should probably have changed this color maybe to like a blue, so it's easier to see, because white is a little bit harder to see, but it is there. Let me see if maybe I'll zoom in and put it down here, but you might be able to see it a little bit. Oops, too much. I don't know if you guys can, yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, it's very subtle because of the, yeah, but it is there. It is, obviously it is lit up as well. So, and if you actually look carefully, there's actually a little bit of a shadow there with the slight little flicker. So that's the tutorial. As I said, I don't want to spend too much time. There's so much stuff for me to do. All right. So while that's playing, obviously you can rotate. You see this with your, any way you want, up, down, etc. So there we go. So you can see, if you see this a little bit, you can see part of the HDR image here as well. So that's what I said. That's why I like using the courtyard, because it gives you it gives you different lighting sources, as you can see, and the perfect way to shadows and stuff. Just makes it more realistic. All right, so I do have some resources and further reading. I have 2 books that might interest you. One is called Learning Python, and the other one is Mastering Blender Python API. So both of them are available on Amazon, and the links are also in the description. And I also have a course called Learning Python. It's available on ojamboshop.com. The link is also in the description. And then I am available for one-on-one Python tutorials, including Blender. So you can contact me at ojambo.com/contact. There's also ojamboservices.com/contact. All right, and then I also okay, I thought there would be a conclusion. Looks like I clipped that off. So I also implore you again to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments, because as I said, that helps out the channel tremendously, in that the more people subscribe, the more the content is pushed out to more viewers, and those viewers can then share some knowledge, or if they have a request, then I can then do it and do some research and then share it with you guys. Thank you everybody who subscribed last month. This is a new month. Let's keep it up. All right, I do have some other resources very quickly. This this is a referral link. If you think you're getting the SpaceX Starlink residential service, use my referral link. You'll get a significant discount. For example, here in Canada, you get the equipment for free if you use a referral link. So use my referral link, and I'll get 1 month free. So that's one way we can help out the channel. The other one is an affiliate link. It's for this. It's called the Honeywell HeatBat Personal Ceramic Heater. It's a space heater. It has settings for low and high, and obviously off, and has a trip protection here. So low uses 170 watts, high uses 250 watts. So what that means is that I live in a cabin up here in the middle of nowhere. So in winter, I can set the temperature. For example, the winter started pretty early this year, so I've set the temperature at 15 degrees Celsius. And in my little space here, like for example right here where I'm working just on this desk, I can use this on low, and my electricity bill will probably be an extra, $2 to $3 a month. I would rather take that than paying $200, $300 a month in propane cost, right? Because propane has to be trucked in, and it's very, despite what people say, it's very inefficient if you're, for example, like someone like me who stays at home, I work from home. It's very inefficient for heating a house, but I do admit it's if, for example, if I'm away and I come back and I'm freezing and I want the house heated up very quickly, propane would be perfect for that. But I'm saying is that not for the entire time. That it's not efficient. But so this guy is very helpful. So this is an affiliate link. What that means, if you use my affiliate link, I'll get a commission, and it's no extra cost to you. And then I have my own, also on Amazon. It's called The Algorithmic Serpent. This is a novelette. Let's see by me there, Edward Ojambo there. It's about a scientist who creates an AI system and loses his mind. He has to regain control of his mind and the AI system. See, this is the back. This is the printed version or the paperback version. You can see the pages. And there's also an ebook version. This psychological thriller is very affordable, meaning that the majority of the costs, for example, for this one goes to shipping and printing, and for the ebook version is for storage costs. So pick it up if you have the means, and let me know what you think. I love writing. And speaking of writing, I also created something which I think everybody can benefit from, and that's this one here. It's called the Recession Business Blueprint. It's my first guide to how to start a business during the downtime. For example, I started my business in 2009 during a recession. Okay, so I was burning through cash because I was living in a condo. I had just been in a condo for 5 years, and I was burning through cash. Obviously, people were telling me, "Oh, you have to save, you have to cut back." I was already right at the limit, right? So there was nothing else to cut, and I wanted to start the business. So I started the business, and obviously, it's been a while. It's been 16 years. What I'm saying is that some of the things that worked back then are not even available today. So what I did was I did some research, and I found ways you can incorporate some concepts are timeless, meaning that they still work. Obviously, for example, like the way I used to advertise or promote the businesses back then doesn't work today. So that's why I'm saying that I found ways where you can promote your, especially if you're a millennial, well, even older, it doesn't matter. So I found ways where you can still promote your business for very low cost, even for free. For example, when I started my business, everybody used to tell me that I need to rent, I have to pay like $1,000 a month in downtown Toronto to rent a place. That was preposterous. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So what I did was I ran the business right from the condo, right from my home, right? So you can do that. Now, nobody looks at you funny if you run a business from home, right? So that's what I'm trying to say, is like those are timeless things which you can still do to this very day. And obviously these days it's much easier because most of the communication is online. For example, when I started my business, the vast majority of my customers, I used to go physically to see them, or they would come to see me. So I'm saying that is something that is, I guess, a generation thing. So you guys are lucky. You can simply just either email, text message, or maybe they have a contact form, or in the comment section. That's how you get business now, right? So that's fine. That's what I'm saying. I have you covered with the Recession Business Blueprint. So you can pick it up. It's on Amazon right now. There's also a paperback version and an ebook version. Pick which one you want. Okay, if you want to know more about me, here's my bio. You can see I'm a software engineer, web developer, author, and I have a book page here. It's on Amazon, of course. And then if you need support, ojamboservices.com. And if you're ready to learn, ojamboshop.com for all the online courses. The online courses come with a web ID, so you can just just look at the snippet, type it in there, copy, paste, anything you want. So it works on the phone. I've tested. You guys saw it last year. I used it for a lot of the tutorials. I was using it. Python, JavaScript, and what's the other one? PHP. Okay, and other ways to contact me, obviously you can fill out the contact forms or the comment forms. The comment form is temporary after an article is published. I think it's only 10 to 15 days, just to cut down on spam. And obviously you can follow me on Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. But I said the best way to contact me is use the contact forms, ojambo.com/contact, ojamboservices.com/contact, and ojamboservices.com/contact, ojamboshop.com/contact, ojambo.com/contact. Alright guys, so that's it. I will see you in the next one. So let me put the outro here, make sure it's correct this time. Yes, got it. So if you want to see what's going on tomorrow, you go to jambo.com, watch menu, live summary. You can see this is what we've done today, and tomorrow we're doing this one, little fun little HTML5 coding for tomorrow, and then you can see what's coming after that. Okay guys, so that's it. I'm gonna leave you now, and I'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Bye now.